Well, a bad chest infection's keeping me at a low profile, so I've got some lovely stainless steel spokes to put on here. You may or may not have seen the wheel build video. I did dry run for this, just testing out, make sure I could do it. So I've got the stainless spokes the right size, and yeah, first thing to do, strip the old spokes off, then I can clean the bearings in the hub. Right, let's get cracking. So I've loosened all the spokes, just need to undo them all now. It can be easier getting a screwdriver on that end and just doing it that way, especially if you've got an electric screwdriver. And you know, I've got 26 more of those to do, so I'm going to go and find an electric screwdriver. Right, I'll not subject you to too much more of that. There we go. One dismantled wheel. Various nipples and spokes. Need to unthread these from the hub. Fiddly, like wrestling with dry spaghetti. And once that's done, I can clean the bearings in there and start threading the new wheel. There we go. Sturmy Archer hub. Lets you oil it, but I'm not going to oil it. I'm going to clean those bearings, grease everything up, make sure I don't need any new cones. It's a little bit rough, but I'm hoping just cleaning it up will sort it out. If you've been following my videos, you probably remember me saying that I'd try and get some black nipples, but the cheapest way of getting the spokes was to get them with the nipples in packs of 6. So, got enough there to do the front, and I've got some for the back as well, slightly different size, 150mm on the back, 160mm on the front. Would have been nice to use black spoke nipples, but yeah, stainless and brass, can't go wrong with that. It's still going to be strong, still going to last well, and yeah, keeping the cost down. Right, let's clean the hub, then I can proceed with the build. Turns out there was a reason for the roughness. Oops, focus. The cones have quite a bit of uneven wear to them on either side. Cups inside the hub aren't bad, you know, I've seen worse. They're actually pretty good. But yeah, I'm going to have to get some new cones. I've not cleaned and inspected the ball bearings yet, but I might as well put new ones in while I'm at it. So that's going to delay things a little bit while I order those and get them in. Hopefully I'll get the right size cones for the axle as well. Okay, now it's a few days later. I've had a bad chest infection, and yeah, today's a bit horrible outside, so I'm going to have to do this indoors. So I've got my hub. Now I've not replaced the spindle in there. I'm going to have to find one of those at a later date, but I'll put the original one in when it comes to finally straightening out the wheel, you know, doing all the last tweaks of the tension. But for now, I can build it without the spindle. Got my stainless steel spokes, my alloy rim. So, first spoke I'm going to fit, see if I can get that in, next to the valve hole, this one here. with it being front, it doesn't matter if I go over or under with the hub. So I've also got a tub of oil to dip the threads of the spokes in. Some people drop the whole spoke nipple in there. Personal preference, I like. So I've got half a dozen in each of these. Nice brand new stainless spokes, no messing about. So I've built this wheel once with old spokes, now it's going to be with new spokes, ready to use once I get the rest of the bike together, to be honest. Okay, let's crack on and get the first spoke in position. Okay, ready with the first one. Dip it in my oil tub so the threads are coated, and through here, and I'm going to attach that in here. Still leave quite a few threads showing for the time being. And the next one, I'm going to make sure this is coming out straight, so I had a tangent from the hub, because I want both spokes going to the valve hole to be coming out straight and not crossing over and getting in the way. So my next one, obviously these go over, under, etc. all the way around. So the next one, 2 along, but 4 along on here. Because yeah, you're going to have one going that way and the same at the other end, so 3 in between. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be my next hole from the second one from here. So again, get some oil on the threads, wash that through, trying to do this so that you can still see what I'm doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and get that nipple on. Just wash it on through a few threads. Now I need to repeat that all the way around the wheel. So backing them in. Okay, so you can see where we're at there. Basically just a sanity check. Spoke, no spoke, spoke, no spoke, etc. all the way around. And ignore the valve hole if you can count the spoke holes all the way around as well, and make sure they're all equidistant, 3 spoke holes between each spoke. Obviously that will be more that sort of angle, just because of the way it's lying down, that it looks a bit more equal, a bit less of a tangent. But yeah, now the next ones, basically from the opposite side, they're going to be going on these holes, which I think you can just about see, which are pointing the opposite way. So this hole needs to come from a spoke coming through here, be that one I think, and that will cross 2 and go there. That's the name of the spoke pattern. It's cross 2. So I'll pop a bit of oil on here. And which one did I say? That one. Pop that through. Oops. Put these where they're going, and lay that across and into there. Hopefully, if I've got it wrong, I'll show you. It's no point hiding it. As I learn, we all learn. Right. Okay, so that's starting to look right. Now what I will do is I will repeat that process, going all the way around, and hopefully if I've got it right, it'll start to look a bit more like a wheel. Hopefully you can see there that it's starting to look a bit more like a wheel now, starting to get that star pattern on this side here. Just got a couple more spokes to put in on this side. So as I've done with the previous ones, thread it through. Trying to do this bearing in mind that I've got the video camera watching it as well. So, and that, as you see, will go in that hole there, just keeping everything equally spaced. Drop a nipple on there. You could probably leave out putting the oil on the spokes if you were just practicing, but at some point in the future I might need to take this apart for whatever reason. And seized spokes are no fun. So I've just got one left on this side now. So again, thread it through there, and the only gap left being up here. At this point the hub moves about quite a bit. Come on. But as I get to the other side, it moves about less. You see, get the dishing effect on there now, and that should look a lot more like half a wheel. Yeah. Right, now for the other side. So again, my starting point is going to be where the valve is going to sit. Now that spoke is going to have to come out that sort of angle, and like the other, I'm going to come at it from this side and through. So swish of oil, double check. Looks about right. If it's not, I'll tell you, I'll not cover it up later in video. Okay, that's the first one in. Now if I try and repeat that pattern around, hopefully it'll look right. If it doesn't, I'll own up to it and I'll start again on this side, but that's going to give us a parallel line here where the valve is, so we're not going to be getting in the wrong way when we're trying to pump the tyres up. It looks right, and if it looks right, it usually is right. Right, I'll crack on with the rest of this side, and we'll know then if I've got it right. Right, I've got a second one in, and you can probably see now that that is actually looking like a radial spoke. There's supposed to be some sort of twist in that. It's supposed to be coming off the hub at a tangent. So I've got that wrong. So I'll take those two spokes off and rethink. I've moved them. I've moved each spoke down 2 holes, and that is now starting to look a lot better. With any luck, it's a lot easier if you've got a picture and an old wheel to compare it to, which is something I should have done before rebuilding this wheel. Ah well, we live and learn. Okay, that's actually starting to look alright now. As you see, it's the dish will pull in slightly, and then we'll have the job of making sure all the spokes are evenly tensioned, or thereabouts. Yeah. Next one, getting these to go across to the right. Let's find the valve hole. Always good to find a datum to start with. So that's the point where I'll start, and I'll start feeding them. Next one, from there over there. Now I've done it this way so I can push them through here last, because these were fighting me a little bit due to the angle of the spokes, angle of the hub, etc. But yeah, shouldn't be too bad now. Probably have people commenting and telling me what I've done wrong, but that's fine, we all learn. Right. Put that up through there, don't get it caught on any of the others. There. And that should cross 1, cross 2, and then end up in or close to its spoke hole. and all things being equal I should be able to get that on there. Wind that in a few threads. There we are. Right, so that's the first one there. Right, all I need to do is fit the rest in now. 6 more spokes to go. Right, time for the last spoke. Now the reason I've left these last ones coming through this way towards us is, let's see if I can do this well. I'm filming. Bolt that through there. And get it lined up with the relevant spoke hole. See, if I went that way, I would be dragging it through and over the middle of the rim, so I'd be more likely to scratch the rim. As it is, it's touch and go. But that's in there now, ready for the last spoke nipple. And then, it's just a case of going round and tightening them all up a bit at a time. If I can get the thing on. There we go. Got oily hands now. Right. As you see, there's a few spokes here and there sticking up, and it's not dished right. It's too much on one side, but everything's loose. Everything will move around quite a bit. I need to start building up tension slowly in these spokes and trying to get them as even as I possibly can. As you see, some of them are showing quite a few threads, others just 1 or 2. Not sure if that's focused, but yeah, I'll try and get them all just showing a couple of threads, and then that should be a lot tighter. Okay, so I've tightened all the nipples to the point where there's just 1 thread or thereabouts showing. Well, you'll notice that some of them are tight, some of them are very slack. Now don't worry about that. Basically, some of the spokes from manufacture will be slightly longer than the others, you know, 1/2 mil, a mil here and there. Also the threading, some will be threaded slightly more than others, just the way it is. Once I've nipped all the loose ones up ever so slightly, I'll test it for straightness. I'll have to get the axle back on, get it in the forks, spin it around. Like, look how proud that one is, for instance. And you can see how much tightening that one's going to need. But once I've got them all to a certain point, then I can start spinning the wheel around, see if it's dished to one way, then I can tighten the opposite spokes to pull it that way, possibly loosen 1 or 2 on this side to pull it that way, if it's dished that way. If there's any buckles, I can sort those out, just with the same sort of method, pulling the buckle one way or the other, just until the wheel's straight. Then I need to make sure it's not egg shaped as well, make sure the rim stays where it is and isn't floating up and down as it's spinning around its axle. Right, next job I suppose is to get the bearings in and the axle back in, just so I can spin it and see where we're at. Yeah, just had to excuse the noise in here. I've got the dehumidifier on, but yeah, it's not awful. There's a little bit of egg shape, as you see, as it's going round. Those cones need replacing. It's not spinning particularly well. But my main concern is, probably see on that one there, some of these are protruding quite a way. The spoke is coming right through to the end. If I tighten them anymore, I'm effectively cutting a new thread through it, and yeah, it's going to poke through. I'm going to have to get a grinder on it. So yeah, I'll hold my hand up, and I made a mistake with the length. I got 160mm, should have been 159. Anyway, I'm going to get some spoke nipple washers that go under there. They help, well, they'll help me spoke length situation. They'll also help spread the load under the nipple, basically, on the rim. So once I get those in, I'll get this all true and take that little bit of egg shape out, which isn't much. I think Probably 90% of bikes out there have worse rims in worse state than that, to be honest. But, yeah, I'll get that sorted, and then my next job will be stripping the rear and giving the hub a bit of a clean, possibly a bit of a service. But yeah, this one's not too bad. I'm going to get a new spindle. I've ordered a new spindle that should turn up in a few days. Hopefully the cones will be alright, you know, they'll be give me enough space. Basically, let's just move this, and hopefully I'll give enough space between the dropout and the cones. It's not going to be too much there. And then that should spin a little bit better. The hub's probably not 100% straight. I mean, the hub's 50-year-old. Might be expecting a bit too much from it, but I'm sure I can get it running better than that. And a new spindle will help. This spindle's quite small as well. It rattles around in here, so I've ordered a next size up. Can't remember off the top of my head, but I got bigger than this in terms of thickness. So, yep. Next time I'm recording any videos, that should be a lot better. So, in the dark recesses of the garage, there's my rear wheel. That's the steel rim. Bit rusty here and there, but more importantly, alloy's going to give me better braking. It's going alloy whether it likes it or not. So I'm going to have to remove all these spokes. They're in pretty good condition, they're not bad. Oily. But yeah, it's a sturmy arch hub, let's face it, you know, oil comes out. The hub, the bearings all seem pretty good. I am going to check them, make sure there's not much play, see if they need greasing. Also the hub, I might take the internals out and give them a bit of a clean. It all depends on how much time I've got. Also, it's winter now, so it's very cold in here and very damp, hence the buzzing in the background, which is the dehumidifier. But yeah, let's get it down to its constituent point, the hub, and get some new spokes and a rim on it. See how that goes. That's that back wheel stripped. Lovely chrome plating. All the oil that leaks out of these does not protect them. Not sure if you can see it. 1965. Try and get that. There we go. If I zoom into that, get all the stuff reflecting off the camcorder. 1965 September. FW 4-speed. Got I think that's a 13-tooth sprocket. I didn't count them earlier, I didn't write it down. Yeah, so I'm going to have to I don't think there's any oil in it at the moment, not last time anyone serviced it, so I'm going to have to look inside, probably get some grease on the bearings, and yeah, get some nice 30 weight oil in there. But that will have to be for another video. So hopefully next video will be a lot sooner than it's taken me to get this one out, and we'll have 2 built wheels, and I might do a separate one for the hub, depending on how I go about that. Hopefully there's no surprises in there. I'm gonna have to do a bit of googling, make sure there's nothing to catch me out. Hopefully it's like a 3-speed in there, just with extra planetary gears or whatever they call them, sun gears. But I'll have a look inside, make sure there's no rust or crud inside there, give everything a bit of a clean and a fresh lube, because everyone likes being clean and lubed. Well, hopefully I shall see you next time. Thanks for watching.